Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk to you guys about some of the lies that society has fed young individuals. So, growing up, guys, in our mainstream culture, our parents, our friends, our teachers, um, you know, we have a lot of bad programs from these people, right? Terrible programs, terrible advice. Sorry, I'm trying to fix this real quick. Uh, Hold on. Yeah, but you guys, so our uh our lives are really, if we're not careful, are a byproduct of our programming and our conditioning that we've been fed by our parents, society, and culture. Um, so just take for example, I'm gonna name a few here. Uh, but take for example, if a lot like for example, my parents or my mom was like big into partying and going to clubs, parties, etc. Right? And she would always say, "Oh," I would always ask her like, "Oh, why did you party so much?" Blah blah blah. Just because I was just curious, you know. And she was like, "Oh, I was young. I was young. I just, I was young, so I wanted to do it because I knew that when I got older, I wanted to, be more serious and whatever." That's great, but here's the thing, right? Everyone wants, I think it's so weird. I think a lot of people party and drink and go out because they feel that their lives, when that phase of their lives is over, that partying and having fun phase is over, then they're gonna just never be able to do that again like they once would, like they once did, right? And you want to know something crazy? You could say you could completely avoid that phase of your life, let's say from 18 to like 23, right? High school to the end of college, right? That party phase that everyone goes through, mostly women, but you get the gist. You could, as a man or a woman, you could completely avoid that, right? Avoid that phase. And you could work so hard to create financial freedom, to develop a sense of like mission and focus and purpose. And you could create a life where, let's say, by your late 20s or early 30s, you're financially free and you have the freedom to do what you want. If you want, right, with that financial freedom and that time that you now have, if you want, you could go out, you could party, right? And you'd still be relatively young, 30. That's not that old, right? Now, are you going to look as good as you did when you were 23, 24? Probably not. But you get the point here. See, we've all been fed a fucking lie. That's just one example, but there's countless others. I'm going to continue on here. With that same example, right? If you party, it's so weird. It's like you party from 18 to 23, let's just say, right? You're going out every weekend, Saturday, Friday, Saturday, right? Every weekend. And I think even the college I was at for like a year, they do Thirsty Thursdays. I don't know how it is for every university, but definitely mine, it was Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. People partied. And okay, so with that said, your party phase is over, you graduate college. Now you have to work 40 hours, 60 hours a week at a job since you wasted all of that time, you're probably at a job you don't like. You probably are, if you're living on your own, you're probably struggling with bills, right? All because society fed you a fucking lie telling you that you should just spend your years when you are young staying up late, drinking, smashing chicks, doing all the fun stuff, right? Now you pay the price for the rest of your life. If you're, I'm not saying everybody becomes that, but I'm saying a large majority of people become that. And that's just terrible. That's a terrible program to live by, right? Imagine if our friends, our parents, our teachers told us, no, don't party from 18 to 23 or 16 to 23, whatever. And instead, focus on trying to figure out what you want out of life. Do you want to be a business owner? Do you want to go into a trade? Do you want to be a lawyer, a doctor? Do you want to, whatever, be an artist? Imagine if we were fed that sort of information and guidance rather than, oh, just have fun. It's like crazy. It's like, I feel like every parent who sends their kid off to college, it's like, yeah, they may want them to do well, but it's like, I know my mom, when she wanted me to go to college, she wanted me to have fun and go to parties. I'm like, man, I'm not doing that. I don't want to do that. Why are you telling me that? Why are you making that decision for me? I don't want to do it. And yeah, so that's just one example, but there's countless other examples. The main thing to realize is that we have been fed so many bullshit, conventional, mainstream herd mentality lies. And a big part of you achieving mastery in your life or creating a better life for yourself is realizing what you've been told. A lot of it is bullshit, right? It's crazy, man. Like, people will sacrifice. I talked about this in another video, but it's like people will sit there, young people, right? I feel bad too, because it's almost like they're just ignorant. They just don't know, and it is their fault, but it kind of isn't their fault, right? But they take the best years of their life, the most potent, powerful, energetic years that they have in their lives, and they just completely destroy it. They waste it. That's just so disrespectful. That's like spitting in God's face. Wow, I gave you this life, I gave you these years, I gave you all this time, and you fucking wasted it. Now you're 30, 35, 40. You're depressed. You don't know what you want to do with your life. You're struggling to pay your bills. You're unhappy. You're unfulfilled. You're tired. You're overworked. You're anxious. You're addicted to fucking TV, porn, video games. All because you decided that during the foundational years of your life, you decided just to waste it. That's the worst thing ever. And my fear is, most people say, oh, just on my deathbed, I want to not regret anything. My biggest, honestly, if I'm gonna fear anything, I don't want to be 30 years old and not be free. To most people, that sounds crazy. Most people are okay with working all for 40 years in a row at the same job, right? So when you hear someone like me say something like, "Oh yeah, I at 30, if I'm still a wage slave, or I'm still, not where I want to be, that's crazy. You're still young, blah 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 blah." No, that's bullshit. I want my best years. My best years are gonna be when I'm in my 30s. Why should I have those years be consumed by work and, worrying about stupid shit when I could have just dedicated, the better part of my life, the earlier years of my life to finding what I want out of life? Why? That's stupid. That's such a stupid fucking way to go about things, man. And like I said, I think I've done a good job of that. And, I hope you guys, I think you guys around I think my age demographic's 18 to 24 on this channel. But yeah, so if you're not, or if you're actively, if you're my age and you're actively trying to figure things out, you're struggling, that's okay, right? That's okay. I struggle too. But like I said in my a couple other videos, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. So during the prime years of my life, when I'm in my 30s, right? Because even I don't know if you guys are familiar with like red pill philosophy. I have some things I like about it and some things I don't like about it. But the majority of men, a man's sexual peak and a man's prime years are in his 30s, right? And so, but you only get there by putting in the work, right? If you waste the early years of your life, it doesn't matter, right? It really doesn't matter. So don't succumb to the fucking bullshit lie of, oh, just have fun when you're young. And here's another lie. I said I was going to talk about multiple things here. Here's another one. You're young, you have time, don't worry about it. I hate when I hear that shit. I hate when I hear that shit. And I'm going to tell you why. Because when someone tells you you have time, you're young, or you're young, you have time, they are correct. They are correct. But what they didn't say is, yes, you're young and you have time, only if you put the work in. Only if you're actively trying to do something, to figure shit out. You're if you say to somebody, hey son, you're young, you got time, don't worry about it, you'll figure it out. But then your kid goes and parties and is a degenerate, you're a fucking terrible parent. You're a terrible parent. And I think that's another horrible, like a horrible like piece of advice that parents give our like their kids, or even teachers. But you only have time. You only you only have time when you're working towards become like creating a better life for yourself. It's true, you do have a lot of time when you're young, but it's not, it's only if you're putting in the work. It's if you can tell that to somebody, and if they go party or they go waste their time, you don't have time because you're wasting your time. So that's another big bullshit lie. And I think, that saying needs to have added implications in it. Like, yeah, hey, you got time, but you better be, studying, learning. You better be trying to figure it out now. Even though you don't have your shit together, you better start trying, start actively engaging in the process of figuring it out. Not let me wait till I'm, out of school to figure it out. No, fuck that. When you start your life, when you start kind of like having like an adult mindset, that's when you start. You don't start when the party years are over. No, because that's what most people are doing right now. They're going to have a rude awakening when reality smacks them in the face, because here's the thing. School, high school, college is not reality. It's like you're taking high school and college students, you're putting them in a fake, like, compartmentalized space, and when they leave that, they're completely slapped in the face if they don't know what they're doing, where they're going. So yeah, guys, this is kind of a longer rant here, but I hope you guys really kind of take that in and digest it, because this is something that really kind of bothers me. It sucks because like I see a lot of people, a lot of like friends and I've had coworkers and whatever, and they just don't know. I hate to see it. Like, they're partying, they're doing all this fun stuff, and it's cool, it's great. They're enjoying themselves, but they don't understand that they're wasting the best years of their lives. Because understand this, right? I'm going to close this out. I'm going to close it with this. You can avoid reality but you cannot avoid the consequences of avoiding reality. So you can put off learning, discovering, exploration, experience, trying to figure things out, putting in the work, learning about investing, saving money, trying to plan. You can avoid all of that, right? And you can be a complete degenerate. You can do whatever you want, but you're not going to avoid the consequences of that. And the consequences of that are sadness, misery, worry, anger. And hey, man, if you want to live like that, by all means. But personally, I'm not okay with that. And I hope you guys aren't as well. I hope you guys want more out of your life. So if you enjoyed that video, guys, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe. If you have any questions, comments, feel free to leave them down below. And as always, I hope you guys have a good one. Peace.